All right, so this is the last presentation for Module F. In this section, we're going to look at some more applications in percent. We're going to focus on sales tax, discounts, and simple interest. So all of our financial applications of percent. So the first ones we're going to look at is sales tax and discount. In order to do this, we want to determine the amount of the tax or the amount of the discount using the percent proportion or equation. From there, we're going to determine the total, and in order to do this, if we are looking at a sales tax or tip, we add it to the original price. And if the amount is a discount, we subtract it from the original price. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Example A, we have the sales tax rate is 5.5%. We want to know the amount of the tax and total cost for a camcorder that costs $495. So I'm going to start by finding my amount of the tax. And I'm going to use my percent proportion. So in order to set up my proportion, I'm going to put my percent, my 5.5 over 100 equals, since we are looking for the tax, it is going to be on the same level as the 5.5. My total cost for a camcorder is $495. That will go on the bottom. All right, from here we want to go ahead and cross multiply. We get 100x equals 2722.5. We divide by 100 and we get x equals 27.225. We want to round this to the nearest cent. So I want to round to my second decimal place. My 5 tells me to round up, and so we get that the amount of the tax is $27.23. Okay, the second thing we want to find is the total cost. So my total cost, we are going to take my original price and we are going to add 27.23. And on my calculator, I come up with 522.23. Okay, let's look at a couple more. Let's look at example B. Example B, it says calculate the tip and total for a bill that is $58.37 if you want to leave a 20% tip. Now, keep in mind, we're going to leave a flat 20% tip, no rounding to the nearest dollar like we would do in the real world. You won't get full credit for that on your homework. So, tip is similar to sales tax. We're going to do the exact same thing. So, for the tip, I'm going to set up my proportion. We get 20 over 100 equals x over 58.37. If we cross multiply, we get 100x equals 1167.4. I can divide by 100. And we get x is equal to 11.674. Again, I want to round to the nearest cents since we are talking about money, so we're going to round the 7. And we get 11.67. The 4 rounds it down, so we're going to leave it alone. All right, the total. We're going to do the same thing that we did for sales tax. We have the price of our meal plus the tip. And if we add this, we get $70.04. Okay, so that's tip and sales tax. Let's look at a problem that's a little bit different. Let's talk about discounts. Let's go out and save some money. So, for example C, we have an Easy Boy recliner originally priced at $950 is offered at a 35% discount. We want to find the amount of the discount and the sales price. So the first part of this is going to be the same thing. We're going to set up a proportion. We have our percent 35 over 100 equals our discount, which we are looking for, goes on top. And on bottom, we have the original price of our recliner. All right, if we cross multiply, we get 100x equals 33,250. If we divide by 100, we get the amount of the discount is $332.50. Okay, so now let's find the sales price. This is where it's going to be a little different than our tax and our tip. We want to save money, which means that what we're going to do is we are going to subtract our amount of the discount from the original price. So we get $950 minus $332.5, and I get that my sale price is $617.50. All right, so those are some basic examples of tax, tip, and discount. Now, another thing that we can do is we can find a sales tax or a commission rate. So many people get paid on commission. We may know the original price of an item and the amount with the tax and want to find the tax rate. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to use the percent proportion for this. The amount of the tax goes in the numerator and the original cost goes in the denominator. Now, whether you're doing sales tax or commission rate, we're going to have the same procedure. So these are both sales tax rate problems. We have find the sales tax rate if the tax on a $57 textbook is $3.42. So we're going to be looking for a percent So I'm going to put P over 100. My tax is $3.42. That will go on top. And my $57, which is the original price of the book, is going to go on the bottom. So if we cross multiply, we get 57p equals 342. If we go ahead and divide by 57 to both sides, we get P equals 6%. All right, let's try one more. We want to find the sales tax rate if the tax on a $998 notebook is $49.90. So when we set up our proportion, we get P over 100 equals the amount of the tax, which is $49.90 on top, the original price, $998, goes on the bottom. If we cross multiply, we get 998 times P equals 4,990. All right, we go ahead and divide by 998 to both sides. And I get P equals 5%. All right, the last one that we're going to look at is simple interest formula. So this is going to be a very basic example of anything that accrues interest. This can be loans, it can be your credit cards. If you want, it can also be amounts that you invest. So we're going to use a formula. Our formula is I equals P times R times T. So I is the amount of the interest. P, we refer to this as the principal. This is the amount originally invested or borrowed. We have R is our rate, our interest rate, which is going to be our percentage. We want to make sure that we convert to a decimal. And then we have T is our time, and we do want to be careful because time is going to be in years, not months, but in years. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some examples. We want to find the simple interest and the total amount due on the loan. So let's go ahead and write out our formula again. We have I equals P R T. All right, if we plug in, our principal is the amount that we are investing, so that is 500. R is 4%. I do want to convert to a decimal, so that's going to be 0.04. And my time in years is 1. All right, so if we go ahead and multiply this, I get my amount of interest is $20. To get my total, this is the interest we earned on the loan. That means that now I owe 500 plus $20 or $520. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's look at example B. Example B, we are borrowing $1,850 at an interest rate of 9.5% for 3 years. Okay, so let's write out our formula again. We have I equals P times R times T. So if we go ahead and plug in, we get P is 1850. My 9.5, I'm going to write it as 9.5%. And if I move my decimal point 2 places to the left, I get 0.095. We have T is equal to 3 years, so T is equal to 3. Okay, if we go ahead and multiply this out, we get 1850 times 0.095 times 3 is equal to $527.25. For our total, we are going to add this back onto my original loan amount. And I get $2,377.25. Okay, so those are some basic problems. Let's look at some that are just a little bit more challenging. C, we have $1,600 at 7% for 6 months. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. We have our formula. And we plug in, so we get P is 1,600. Our R is 0.07. We're going to move our decimal place 2 to the left. And now we do want to be careful with the 6 months. I don't want to plug in 6. What do we want to plug in? Remember that our time is always in years. So 6 months is how much of a year? We're going to divide by 12. That's how many months are in a year. And we get 1/2 or 0.5. All right, if we go ahead and multiply this out now, we get our interest is $56. Our total, we're going to add 1,600, our original amount, plus our interest, and we get $1,656. All right, last example. We have 25,000 at 10.5% for 3 months. All right, so if we plug into our formula, we get 25,000 goes in for P. For my R, I'm going to work with 10.5%. And if we move our decimal point 2 to the left, we get 0.105. 3 months, again, I need to figure out how much of a year this is. So we're going to go 3 over 12 months. If we simplify the fraction, this is 1/4. If you want to write it as a decimal, this is 0.25. Okay, if we go ahead and multiply now, I get that my interest is $656.25. So my total, if I add this onto my $25,000, we get $25,656.25. Now, one thing you do want to be careful about when you talk about financial applications, make sure that you check your answer in the context of the problem. If you are paying $100 for a hamburger at McDonald's, you probably did something wrong. If a refrigerator, originally priced at $900, and you end up paying $20,000, you might want to rethink that. If it's not something that you would do in real life, it's probably not going to be something you're going to do in math class. Okay, so make sure that you are very careful with your percents and that you convert to decimal as needed. All right? Okay, that takes care of Module F. The next module that we will be looking at is Module G, which is going to cover geometry. And so I will have those posted as soon as possible.